In this video, you're going to learn how to create a landing page that converts. I'm literally going to walk you through each of the elements on a landing page that you must have, and I'm going to show you how to optimize every single one of those elements to get the best conversion rates possible. So why is this so important? Well, if you're running Facebook and Instagram ads and you're not actively working to improve your landing page conversion rates, then I can guarantee your campaigns aren't performing as well as they could be. Just to show you how much of a difference this can actually make, if you've got a landing page and it's converting at, let's say, 20%, meaning for every 5 people you send to your landing page, 1 of them converts into a lead. So that means if you're spending $1 per click, you need to spend $5 in order to get 1 lead. Now, if we go and improve the conversion rate on that landing page and bring it up to 40%, which, yes, very possible to do, then suddenly you're getting 1 lead for every 2.5 clicks, meaning your lead cost drops to $2.50. So you've effectively cut your cost per lead in half without touching your ads. Sounds pretty good, right? So let's take a look at exactly how you do it. Before we do, if you enjoy this video, all I ask is that you click that little like button. It really does help the channel, helps me keep creating content like this. And if you want to get notified whenever I release a new video on Facebook ads and digital marketing for online course creators, coaches, and consultants, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell as well. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the different elements on a landing page. There are 6 main elements that you want on any landing page. The first one is the headline. Then you've got the sub-headline. You've got your image or video, also known as the creative. You've got a call to action, and we generally have some social proof or testimonials as well. Before we start talking about how to optimize each of those, there's a concept that you really need to understand, and that is above the fold and below the fold. So these are terms that are used on landing pages to describe where things sit. Basically, if something is above the fold, it means that the user sees it before they have to scroll down. So that applies to both desktop and mobile. So if somebody sees something on the page as soon as it loads and they don't have to scroll down to see it, that means it's above the fold. If something is below the fold, it means that the user has to scroll down or swipe down if they're on a mobile device in order to see it. Now, the term above the fold actually comes from back when people bought newspapers. So the newspapers would be folded in half and stacked on the shelf at the newsagent. So things that were above the fold were anything that you could see once the newspapers were folded and stacked. And so that term has just carried across to the internet and landing pages. See, you came for the landing page design tips, but you'll stay for the useless random trivia facts that come as a bonus. So let's focus on the above the fold content first, because this is the most important piece of your landing page. There are a lot of people with short attention spans and they're not even going to bother scrolling down. So there are a few elements that have to be above the fold in order for your landing page to really convert well. Those elements are the headline, sub-headline, creative, and your call to action. And again, you really want to check this on mobile. If you're running Facebook and Instagram ads, most of your traffic is going to be coming from a mobile device. So I can't stress enough how important this concept is on mobile. And when you're designing, when you're working on your landing pages, I do it mobile first, and I recommend you do the same, okay? Focus on that mobile design, get it looking nice, and then go to the desktop and make sure it looks great as well. But what so many people do is they design this beautiful landing page on desktop, mobile becomes an afterthought, but then they run their ads and they don't convert well because the mobile version doesn't look great. So make sure you don't end up making that mistake. Now let's talk about optimizing your headline. This is going to be the first thing people see when they hit that landing page. So it is the most important element on the page. What you don't want is some giant logo or some other random thing being the first thing that people see when they hit that page. They need to be focused, their eyes need to go straight to your headline. And the main goal of your headline is to make sure that the reader knows exactly what your product or service does or what it's going to give them immediately. If it's not crystal clear, meaning if the benefit of whatever it is you're offering isn't crystal clear, then you should rethink your headline. Here are 2 formulas that I like to use to create a really good headline for my landing pages. Number 1 is the big promise. This is simply a big, bold statement that tells the reader exactly what you're going to give them or do for them. It's all about the result. It's not about the method, not the how, and it's not about you. It's simply about, hey, this is going to give you X, or hey, you're going to get this. Take a look at this example. The headline says, people will ask you, how do you get it all done? ? And how do you get it all done is the bit in focus there. After reading that, I have no idea what this page is actually offering. What's this company going to do for me? Why would I give them my name or email address or sign up for this service? However, if we flip this and we use the big promise type headline and we change it to something like how CEOs and professionals double your productivity, meaning double your productivity is the big headline that's in focus there, it instantly makes it easy to understand what's being offered or promised when you hit this page. It's about doubling your productivity, right? If that is something that the viewer is interested in, then they're instantly hooked, and that's the job of the headline. The second headline formula that I like to use is benefit without pain, or gain without pain, because that sounds so much cooler, right? Yeah, anyway, let's keep going. So with this type of headline, we're going to talk about what they're going to get or gain from your offer, and we're going to couple it with something that handles a common objection, meaning a common reason why people wouldn't sign up for this thing. So ask yourself, what do people get from this? What are they going to gain? And what are the reasons that people would normally have for not signing up or not giving me their name and email address or not purchasing my product? What's that big objection, the most common one that I see? Then you just smush them together. Take a look at this example. It simply says 400 plus pages of campaign examples. When I first read that, I have no idea what this is talking about. And frankly, 400 plus pages just sounds overwhelming. I'm not really enticed to read 400 pages today. But if we flip it and we apply this gain without pain type headline, I'm rolling with that by the way, then we get something like plug and play email marketing templates for more sales without spending more on ads. That's assuming the objection is, well, whenever we try to scale and get more sales, we need to spend more money on ads, and that kind of eats at our margins. So if that was the objection, then that headline would be a really good one. And then as a little bonus, another method that I like to use is the 3 whys. Now I didn't come up with this method, I've heard it somewhere else before, but it's simply asking the question why 3 times in order to dig down and find out what it is that the potential customer really wants. So if you look at this example, it says, are you the most visible music school in your area? If we apply the 3 whys, the first question would be, why do you want to be more visible? And the answer could be, well, so more people find my business. Great. And the second why is, why do you want more people to find your business? And the answer might be, well, because everybody is going to my main competitor because she's easy to find. Well, if we ask why for the 3rd time, we say, well, why is she easier to find? The answer could be, well, because when people type into Google music school in my local area, she's the one that comes up first. All right, so now by asking those 3 whys, we've got something really juicy and we can turn it into a headline like, how to be the top ranking music school in Google in your area, or how to rank #1 for music school in your local area. It's very specific, but it gets down to what that person really wants. And that's the type of headline that you want to create. All right, the next element on the page that we're going to talk about is the subheader. And the goal of the subheader is to double down on the big promise in your headline and tell them how you're going to do it, or explain a bit more about what it is that you're offering. So if you look at this example, we've got thousands of top CEOs and professionals use the blah, 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 blah. So let's take a look at this example where we had the previous headline and the previous subheader. Now we've got the new headline and we could change that subheader to say something like this: the world's leading calendar, tab management, and focus tools that save top professionals hours each day. So now our new headline is the big promise, and that new subheader digs into how we're going to do it. It tells them that, this is actually a set of tools that you can use to achieve that promise. So they know what they're going to get in the header, and now they know how you're going to deliver it to them in the subheader. So when somebody hits your landing page, simply by reading your header and your subheadline, they know exactly what it is you're going to do for them and how you're going to do it. Which leads me to the next element, and that is your creative. So that's the image or the video that you have on the page. Now, if you're using an image, which is what I use most of the time for lead generation and opt-ins, then what I want to do is create something that either allows them to visualize themselves in that end state, meaning themselves after they've got whatever it is you're offering, or evoke an emotion. So if there's a particular feeling that you want to create with your landing page, then that is where the image comes in and really helps you do that. If you have a product and you really want to show off what that product does and how it works, let's say it's a SaaS product or something else, then that's where a video can really come in handy here. And you want to use a video to actually show them and demonstrate your product in action. To demonstrate how powerful these visuals can be, there's a really good story in Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Great book. If you haven't checked that one out, highly recommend you do. One of the stories that he shared was a study that was done by a furniture company. And what they did was they took half their traffic and sent it to a landing page that had an image of clouds in the background. And the same furniture site sent the other half of their traffic to a landing page that had coins and money in the background. Now, after sending people to that page, they asked them what was most important to them when buying furniture. The people who went to the page with clouds in the background said that the most important thing for them was comfort. Now, on the other hand, the people who went to the page that had coins and money in the background, they said that the most important thing to them when buying furniture was price. Now, the only difference there was they were sent to a landing page with a different visual in the background. So what is it that you concede with the image on your landing pages that will pre-frame these people to take the action that you want, or to be in the mindset that you want them to be in? So have a think about that when you're creating the visual on your landing page. And instead of just going with a stock image of a person or whatever it is, that you might find on a stock website, think about, what emotion do I want them to feel here? How do I want them to be pre-framed before they sign up for my freebie or opt in for my software or service or book a call with me? Make sure you're conscious of that when you're creating an image for your landing page. For example, if you're in the biz ops space and you're offering, to help someone grow their business, well, then you want to show a picture of something that exudes wealth and success. If you're, let's say, in a parenting niche and you're talking about how to become a happier, more relaxed parent, then you want to show something that depicts a happy, relaxed parent. Likewise, if you're doing something like talking about how to become a better golfer, then you want to maybe show something where the golf ball is about to drop into the hole. You're putting them in that position where they can visualize the end result that they're looking for after they go through your product, program, service, or whatever it may be. All right, moving on to the next element that sits above the fold on every landing page, and that is the call to action. So in most landing pages, the call to action is going to be a button that you want them to click, whether it's to opt in or to sign up for a free trial or book a call or purchase something. They usually click a button and then they go from there. So the thing you can do to really improve your call to action is change it from something that is just boring and generic. Most people go with something super original on their buttons, like sign up now, or send it to me, or get instant access. Now, as great as those are, you can actually improve the text on your call to action to help boost your conversion rates. Instead, focus on what the reader is actually getting when you're writing that text for the call to action button. So you could use something like make me more productive or send me the templates. Focus on what is it that they actually want. What are we giving them? Think about what is it that they're actually getting, or what is it that they actually want, or what's the end result, and how can we squeeze that into our call to action button. All right, so before we move on to the next thing, I just want to reiterate that those 4 elements that I went through should always sit above the fold on desktop and mobile, okay? No matter what, you need to have those 4 elements sitting above the fold on desktop and mobile for your landing pages. So make sure you do that. Now, next up, we're going to cover trust indicators. Now, trust indicators on desktop will normally be above the fold. On mobile, they can be either or. If you've got the room on mobile to fit them above the fold, then go ahead and do it. But if you don't have the room, it's perfectly fine to put these below the fold. Trust indicators are simply images on your site that improve the level of trust a first-time viewer or user has when they visit your website. They're things that let them know that this is real, it's legit, it's something they can actually trust. Trust indicators usually come in the form of reviews and ratings, or things that associate you with well-known people or organizations that others already trust or that your ideal audience already trusts, or mentions in media, so putting logos from different media outlets that you've been mentioned in. And again, you're leveraging the trust that people already have with those media outlets, and what you're doing there is you're leveraging that trust that people already have with the media outlets or the people or the organizations, so that that trust transfers in part to you. Here's an example now where you can see the different organizations that use this particular service. And now you can see another example where Susie has shown different media outlets that she's been featured in. All right, next up, we're talking social proof and testimonials. But if you've got this far and you haven't clicked the like button, please give it a tap. It makes a huge difference to the channel, and that's all I ask in exchange for creating free content like this every single week for you. All right, now social proof and testimonials, they go below the fold. And these are simply testimonials from your past customers, clients, and people who've used your product or service. They help reinforce the benefits of what it is you're offering, but what they also do is they help people overcome objections as well. So all of those different objections that people have that stop them from signing up for your free thing or for your service or your product, you want to try and find testimonials that are demonstrations of people who've overcome those same objections. So show people who had that objection, they experienced it, but they overcame it, and they got the result they were looking for with your product. The other thing you want to do with your testimonials is try to make them relatable. If you have some that are just really crazy good, but don't represent what most people view as actually achievable or realistic, then it's often better to actually not include those and go for testimonials that are more relatable and more believable. And the other thing is you just want to make sure that they demonstrate the end result that your ideal client or customer or person looking at this page actually wants to achieve. So the testimonials should just show people achieving whatever it is you're promising, which is, I'm guessing, what most of your testimonials are going to do. Okay, so that's your social proof and testimonials. I've got a couple of bonus tips for you now as well. The first one is include a call to action again towards the bottom of your page. So you might have a button at the very top of your page above the fold, and you should, but if somebody's scrolling all the way to the bottom and reading everything on your page, include another call to action button right at the bottom, because that saves them from scrolling back to the top and having to go searching to find that call to action button. The idea here is you want to remove friction wherever you can. Next up, make sure your page is lightning fast, okay, on both desktop and mobile. I'm not going to cover tips on how to do that in this video. There's plenty of that sort of stuff on YouTube, but you want to make sure your page is really, really fast, because otherwise people are going to hit it, and if it takes a long time to load, they're going to drop off. And also, if you're running Facebook ads, make sure you've got a link to your privacy policy in the footer, your terms and conditions, and also make sure you've got your logo down there in the footer that links back to your homepage as well, because that is something that Facebook love to see as well, is a link back to your actual real homepage from your landing pages. All right, that's it for this video. If you haven't done it already, make sure you tap that like button and click subscribe, hit that little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I release a new video on Facebook advertising or digital marketing for coaches, consultants, or online course creators. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.